Hi, Darlyng. A client of mine forwarded me your question. My name is Nicole Weatherdon, and I'm an ADHD specialist, focusing on coaching and consulting for people who have ADHD as well as their family members who are trying to cope with those of us who have ADHD. And in answer to your question, yes, talk of suicide can be very common among ADHD kids as well as ADHD adults. Really, age is no exception. And first and foremost, I do want to say that, especially if there are meds involved, if they're off in any way, then new or increased uh, thoughts of suicide, depressive ideas, um, thoughts of self-harming, out and out depression, that sort of thing has been known to occur as a side effect. So if you are noticing that there is new or increased signs or symptoms of depression or talk of self-harm or suicide, then you want to call your medical doctor pretty ASAP, get that dealt with. Typically it's just a minor change in meds that can get you back on the right path, but you certainly don't want to gloss over and miss any potential tragedies that could happen. That being said, the way you're phrasing it in your question of, I wish I'd just die, that would make everyone happy, that, in my experience, is a lot more a response that's born out of frustration. You know, especially for a kid who has ADHD, um, it's a rather daunting task to come to grips with the idea of ADHD and all the implications that it has. You hit that point eventually where it's not just this novel new diagnosis, you have to take this pill. It starts sinking in that this is something that has the potential to negatively affect every aspect of your life for the rest of your life. And that's kind of overwhelming, especially for a kid to try to deal with. And as I'm sure you've already noticed, we tend to react to everything emotionally, intensely emotionally. There's no kind of halfway for us. It's intense, it's immediate, and it tends to be more noticeable when it's the negative kind of response than the positive one. Um, so the trick becomes trying to figure out where the frustration has started. Is it something that, a situation crops up and that's the immediate response to feeling like you failed for the umpteenth time? Or is it more a slow accumulation of frustration that's been gradual over years or months or even days? And then finally you have the straw that broke the camel's back and you get this sort of a reaction of giving up, this throwing in the towel, this, it'd just be easier if I wasn't here, then you wouldn't be upset when I fail, and I won't be upset when I fail, and the teachers won't be upset when I fail, and everyone doesn't have to believe me or not believe me about trying hard because I just wouldn't be here. So figuring out where the frustration is coming from is what the task turns into, which isn't always easy. And sometimes being able to have access to speak with someone who has been there and who has already gone through all these emotions and experiences and learn to effectively cope with frustration levels, and has come out successfully on the other side, that can be a huge benefit and make the world of difference to somebody.